You know, I was trying to think up an intro for this episode, but the idea for that never really did come to me. Welcome, it is Cheeseman75, here for Pokemon Trading Card Game Episode 19, where we go against Stephanie and the Strange Power Deck. As your commentator, that was called commentator, I will describe to you the strange powers as they come into play. First off, we have Jinx. Its power is to use the broken and overpowered attack Meditate. It does more damage the more damage that's on the target. Not the attacker, the target. The more damage you take, the more damage you take. What? But anyway, the base attack with no damage added is only 20 damage. So Jigglypuff resists this overpowered attack and takes no damage. It's a counter to the overpowered. That's good. All competitive games need that. Of course, if there's a counter to the overpowered, then there's bound to be a counter to the counter, and a counter to the counter to the counter, and so on and so forth, until the counter to 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 the counter is weak to the original overpowered attack. Like, for example, Jinx has the overpowered attack Meditate. Jigglypuff resists it, thus it is the counter to the overpowered. Machop with its quick attacks and natural strength against colorless Pokemon is the counter to the counter. While in turn, it is also weak to the original overpowered attacker, Jinx. I'm getting a bit ahead of the video here, but the next strange power on this list is Mew, level 8. Inferior to its level 23 relative, it is also contradictory if you use both of them on the same team. The level 8's power is to block all damage from evolved Pokemon, and the level 23 version de-evolves them so they can hit the level 8 version. Although against Jigglypuff it doesn't hit further damage. Holy shit, I got Gust of Wind. The Paralyze effect is still annoying. Gust of Wind forced me to bring in Gas. And because of the Pokemon power, I'm forced to stay as Ghastly. It's weak against my attack though, so another turn and this should be over. Luckily, it didn't paralyze. It could have. Paralyzation can make a duel go on forever, I think. Mew level 8 is finally gone, and we can move on to the next power. Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime's power is the invisible wall. You can only deal 20 damage per attack, or else it will be blind. It also possesses the same overpowered Meditate attack that Jinx has. Here's something interesting. Nidoking is the only Pokemon in this game that can kill Mr. Mime in one hit. It possesses the Toxic attack, which does 20 damage normally, but the poison that it is guaranteed to produce will hit for 20 damage every half turn, as opposed to 10. You do 20 damage with the attack, 20 with the poison, kill it in one turn, and you never broke any rules because you never did any more than 20 damage at a time. Although Mr. Mime woke up on that turn, I would like to say that Pokemon powers are cancelled while you're asleep, confused, or paralyzed. Next power on our list is level 23 Mew. If you think of all the psychics in this game as one big family, Mew level 23 is the insane cousin locked up in the asylum that no one is comfortable talking about. Its attack Psywave does damage depending on how much energy is attached to the target. With 3 energy on Haunter, if it weren't for transparency, 30 damage would have meant Haunter would have been lights out. But it misses, and I get to evolve to Gengar, and Dark Mind does enough damage so I can pick up my last prize and win the game. Pokemon in this deck of strange powers that weren't discussed during this recording. Slowpoke, level 9, not 18. Its power is Amnesia. If it uses it, then you can't use one of your attacks next turn. When it evolves, it can paralyze and slowly murder itself by absorbing damage from allies. Drowsy can confuse, and that's about it. Hypno and Gengar must have been BFFs in grade school or something, but instead of matching clothes or bracelets or some shit, instead they have matching psychic abilities that they can use to fucking kill you. Hell yeah. Gengar has a slight edge on Hypno here because its second ability is a Pokemon power instead of an attack, so both can be used in one turn. And for some reason in this deck, there seem to be a stray, Lickitung, and Snorlax. We're about out of time for today's episode, so to end today's episode, I would like to quote Snorlax's Pokepower. Snorlax can't be asleep, confused, paralyzed, or poisoned. This power can't be used if Snorlax is asleep, confused, or paralyzed.